I am 84 years old. Most people at my age spend their days hoping for more time with their families. They pray for one more dinner together, one more holiday, one more chance to sit in the same room with the people who share their blood. But as I sit here in this quiet house, staring at the door, my prayer is different. My prayer is that certain members of my bloodline never walk through that door again. That might sound cold to you. It might even sound cruel. But if you live long enough, you start to see the truth behind the stories society tells you.
And one of the biggest lies ever told is this: family is everything. From the moment you are a child,
they tell you that no matter what happens, family must come first. That you must tolerate the manipulation, the emotional wounds, and the quiet cruelty simply because you share the same last name. I believed that lie for most of my life. I believed it so deeply that I spent more than 60 years staying loyal to people
who were slowly destroying my peace. I defended them. I excused them. I kept forgiving things that should never have been forgiven.
And now, at 84, I look back and realize the most frightening truth of all: the people who can ruin your life. The fastest are often not your enemies. They are the ones sitting across from you at the dinner table. And let us be honest for a moment and remove the romantic stories we tell ourselves. What is family, really? Biologically speaking, it is nothing more than a genetic accident. You did not choose the people you were born to, and they did not choose you. It is nothing more than a genetic accident. You did not choose the people you were born to, and they did not choose you. As we turn that accident into an unbreakable contract, we convince ourselves that blood automatically means loyalty,
kindness, and love. But tell me something honestly. If a stranger walked up to you in the street and spoke to you,
the way some family members speak to you, would you invite them into your home? If a stranger mocked your dreams, belittled your choices, and made you feel small every time you opened your mouth, would you call them every Sunday just to check in? Of course not. You would walk away immediately.
Yet many people tolerate that exact behavior from family members simply because they share the same bloodline.
Abuse does not transform into love just because it comes from a parent. Disrespect does not become acceptable just because it happens at a family gathering. Toxic people know this, and they rely on it. They hide behind the illusion of family. They use it like armor, a shield that protects them from consequences. They remind you of your duty. They guilt you with phrases like, "But we're family." And slowly, without even realizing it, you become trapped
in a relationship that drains the life out of you. I know this because I lived it. In my 30s, I was constantly tense.
My shoulders were tight, my mind was restless, and I felt exhausted even when I had done nothing all day. I thought the problem was me. I thought I was simply an anxious person. But the truth was something very different. I was carrying the emotional weight of people who thrived on conflict and negativity. Every conversation with them felt like walking through a storm. They questioned my choices. They doubted my ambitions. They planted small, poisonous thoughts in my mind that slowly grew into larger doubts. Over time, those small comments became a prison in my head. I started shrinking myself just to avoid their criticism. I avoided opportunities because I could already hear their voices telling me I would fail. Toxic relationships rarely destroy your life in dramatic ways. Instead, they drain you slowly. The cost is invisible but devastating. You begin to feel anxious days before seeing them. Your stomach tightens. Your thoughts become heavy. And after the visit is over, you feel emotionally exhausted for hours or even days. That exhaustion spreads into the rest of your life. You become impatient with people who actually care about you. You lose focus on your dreams. You carry their negativity into places that were once full of light. When you are 84 years old, sitting alone and reflecting on your life, you begin to measure time differently. You realize that the most valuable thing you ever possessed was your peace of mind. And the greatest tragedy is how easily we give that peace away to people who never deserved it. Looking back now, I do not regret the risks I took or the money I lost. My deepest regret is the time I wasted trying to prove my worth to people who had already decided not to see it. If you ever decide to separate yourself from toxic family members, you will probably make the same mistake most people do. You will want a dramatic ending. You will want to explain everything. You will want them to understand the pain they caused you. You will hope that if you say the right words, they will finally admit their mistakes and apologize. But toxic people rarely live in the same reality as you. They cannot see the damage they cause because admitting it would mean facing their own reflection. Instead, they twist the story. They turn themselves into the victim. They make you feel guilty for protecting yourself. The most powerful form of separation is quiet. It does not involve shouting or long emotional speeches. It is simply the calm withdrawal of your energy.
You stop feeding the cycle. You stop engaging in arguments that lead nowhere. You respond less.
And eventually you stop responding at all. Slowly, you remove yourself from the environment that once drained your spirit. At first, the silence feels painful. You may feel lonely. Holidays might feel empty. You might question your decisions in the quiet moments of the night. Society has trained you to believe that distancing yourself from family is wrong. The guilt can be overwhelming. But guilt is not proof that you made a bad decision. Often, it is simply proof that you have.
Finally stopped accepting something harmful. And then something remarkable happens.
As the weeks and months pass, the tension in your body begins to fade. The constant anxiety disappears. You wake up in the morning without that familiar knot in your stomach. The quiet room that once felt lonely begins to feel peaceful. It becomes a place where your mind can finally rest. Once the toxic voices are gone, something beautiful starts to grow. In the empty space they left behind, you begin to build relationships based on respect instead of obligation. You surround yourself with people who celebrate your success instead of resenting it. Slowly, you create a new circle, a chosen family built on kindness, understanding, and genuine connection. Now, at 84 years old, my life is simple and quiet. My circle is small, but every person in it brings peace into my world. And when I look back across the decades, I see clearly what truly mattered. The greatest mistake of my life, I spent too many years trying to earn love from people who had no intention of giving it. So if you are younger than me, if you still have decades ahead of you, listen carefully. Do not waste your life carrying the emotional baggage of people who refuse to respect you. Protect your peace as if it were the most valuable treasure you possess. Because one day you will realize that it truly was.